We join Coach Rob Carter with the Sylacauga Aggie Football Report on the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Stop and Shop Auto Sales. Big win over Holtville on senior night last week.
It was great for those seniors to get out there and, we say that, play their last home game. That was when we went out there. We guaranteed that last game. I said, guys, go out strong, and we'll see what happens for playoffs, but it was a great game.
What went well?
Well, I thought the adversity, the change of being behind early, and I'm not going to take nothing away. Hope was a good football team. They had a chance to beat Tallahassee in the last seconds the week before, and they had us fooled a little bit offensively. They had brought in a different plan and did a really good job of implementing it. We made our adjustments and changes, and I thought the passing game, I thought Brayson Edwards finding those receivers and downfield and being able to create dynamic plays in the second quarter and really turning the momentum of that game.
Yeah, it's unusual a team fall behind 2-0, but the Aggies did.
That's right. We had punch snaps overhead. All these things are honestly really good as far as, preparing for this in the playoffs. It happened to us. We'd kind of forgotten about those things, or that focus or that concentration, those kids, and now that happening, being able to overcome those mistakes, and those are all great life lessons and great for this football team.
Pope under 100 yards last week, I think, or somewhere around
110.
100 yards or so, and he got hurt. Where are we at on that?
He had cramps. He was fine. Yeah, that was an issue when the weather changes. A lot of times those guys don't drink enough water and those things. He had explosive play there. They had taken off because of an offensive hold, but I thought he had a really good game going, that point, because they were trying to stop him. I think they had 9 guys watching him. And like I said, we were able to do other things. And, that's always good for a team's confidence when you go into it and they stop your, what you call your key offensive, personnel, and you're able to use other personnel to create touchdowns, and that was good.
Edwards' confidence has got to be high, especially after a big game, not just throwing the football, but running this Aggie offense.
Right. That we needed that. That was great that he had that opportunity to go out there and have to really put his arm and, his leadership, to the team and really take some claim and wins, because a lot of times you see him hand it off, but he's running the offense. He's telling me what he sees or what he thinks we can do, and you don't see it when you hand it off to Malik Pope and those things, but he's satisfied doing that, but he was extremely happy, and I'm sure the confidence has definitely boosted him, with his performance.
Well, we talk about Edwards and Pope, but there were several other players, some big gamers and some big catches for the Aggie offense.
Right. Jakari Cottingham caught a big one. I think he's caught a few this year, but that one he was able to create space between him and the corner and took it to the distance. Continue. You got Bill Lauderdale and Riley Basinger continues to do the same thing. And, of course, Quindarius Swain. We know what he's going to be in the future. Just a 10th grader. A lot of times us coaches expect a little more because he's got the size of a senior and those things. And, he did a really good job in creating opportunities for him to catch the ball. And they've worked hard on that. When we go defensively, you'll see Brayson and I'll call him Q Swain go down there and work on back shoulder fades, all those things. And they threw it to perfection.
That happened, yeah.
Friday night.
Sure did. Holtville, we knew coming in they could put some points on the board. The defense for Sylacauga, talk about that a little bit, and they seemed to get better as the game went along.
They did. They did a great job. We put them in some holes in that first quarter, and they maintained where they could and gave us the opportunity to get back ahead, and they've done that all year, and that's a true team. One side's just not dominant. They both help each other. Of course, you got kids contributing on both sides, so you don't have just a defensive unit and offensive unit. And I think they've done a great job, Coach Jackson, Coach Strickland, and Coach Crawford, and that group over there preparing for other teams. And of course, the guys putting in the plan. We've been good up front. I think the linebackers, where we thought there was going to be a hole coming in this year, really done a good job. And then, of course, defensive backs with their speed.
Coach Rob Carter, our guest this morning, head football coach of the Sylacauga Aggies. And I guess if people had drawn up the schedule and looked at how things were going to play out during the regular season, not a whole lot of people would have said, well, Benjamin Russell Sylacauga is not a region game, and so it's not going to be that important. It's very important.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I like it because we're not overlooking. We've got to focus on this game, and the kids have, and they understand it's renewal of a rivalry. You know, they played it in the past, back in the day, I guess. You know, they know those kids from track and other sports that they can play in. So it's a great opportunity to play a 6A team that may not have the greatest record, but they've been in games.
Yeah.
You know, that first half, they've been in almost every game and been ahead in some, and have played really well. And he's got a young group. So, you know, we're looking for a dog fight, and, you know, the kids are excited about playing, and they understand definitely the outcome of this game could possibly determine how our playoff standing is.
Talk about the ins and outs, the importance of this Ben Russell football game for people who may not know. Would say, well, you know, last week we thought Sylacauga was sure a 2 seed, and something happened with Central Clay County. Where do we stand this morning?
Okay, right now, I mean, we're leading in the points, and what happens when you get a 3-way tie and then one team doesn't play 9 games, I mean, don't play a full schedule, you've got to go to the teams you beat, their records to determine, that's the tiebreaker. So the teams we beat, we got to look at all their records. So right now, we stand at the top. We've just, you know, we go into it with Clay Central as Hanley, which has significant wins under their group. You know, Ben Russell's got 2, and then Tallahassee plays Carroll of Ozark. So, I mean, we do our job, you know, focus, we win this game. That could possibly put us, you know, number 1. We win the region if, and then go to the ifs.
Yeah.
I had to bring out my notebook, but Clay Central was to lose, and we would win this game Friday night, we're the region champs. And Tallahassee would fall to head-to-head, which would make them second. Clay Central would go all the way to third. So, I mean, there's like 3 scenarios here. So that's the best one I like, no doubt. You know, let's do our job on Friday night. Let's win the game and let the state. If we win the game, there's no doubt we're at least a home game, either the first or second, according to what Clay wins. They're automatically region champs. So, I mean, it all falls on other people. We could all lose, and it depends on Childersburg beating Fayetteville. It depends on, you know, all our guys. So it really gets complicated.
Crazy,
yeah, it'll come down to, it won't be so easy as to look at it maybe on Friday night after the game and go, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah.
But we're in the playoffs, and I think our team playing at any time can compete with anybody in the South region, and wherever it stands, we're going to go do it. You know,
well, certainly there is some difference between a number 1 seed opponent and a number 2 seed opponent too.
The difference in it, it all falls out quarter bracket wise. I mean, you know, you get a lot of luck in the playoffs. You make it in, anything can happen. I've seen 4 seeds make it to state championship. You know, I've seen 3 seeds, especially in a region like we are, we're pretty even matched. I'd hate to be that other region because 1, 2, or 3 are pretty evenly matched, and you're almost getting a 1 on any given Friday night. So whoever may be sitting back at, you know, second place over there goes, you know, what's it matter? You know, they can pick out of a hat, and they probably don't want to compete against, you know, a lot of times you have a significant difference in number 1 to number 4, but 1, 2, 3 in our region are equal, and that makes it tough for opponents to prepare. I mean, they're not able to just like us, we don't even know who we're going to play. A lot of times, I know here at B.B. Comer sitting back, they know who they're going to play. We don't have a clue, and the other regions don't have a clue.
You know that you got Ben Russell tomorrow night,
That's
some
right.
30 miles down the road, and all hands on deck for that game. What do you see with practices this week and looking ahead to Ben Russell that excites you about this Aggie team coming into the last regular season game of the season? Yeah,
well, they understand the implications of this game. They're looking forward to it. They've had great practice the last 3 or 4 weeks, no doubt. I think that the focus is how good they are in the playoffs and the possibility of making a run due to their focus and their execution.
You led Beauregard to a state championship a couple of 3 years ago or so. You coach differently in the playoffs than you do the regular season?
Yeah, I know there is. There's a difference. Practices are different. You lay off some of the really physical stuff. It's more X's and O's and schemes and putting people in the right place and executing over and over and over again your plan. But I think coaching, I think you look deeper into, your schemes and maybe think outside the box a little bit more, because, you're going to find teams you match evenly with, and it's going to take the best performance and, lack of mistakes and all that comes into play. So, yeah, you coach a little harder, and, you tell your wife that, I'm going to be a little busy.
Yeah.
She don't care. She can make me fold clothes. That's what she'll say. But
be in Montgomery on Saturdays.
Saturday morning, yeah. And they've changed some of that. Some of it's been virtual. The location, they bring us all together this year at one time at Alabama State, location there. And then, they'll send out it maybe virtual the next couple of weeks. So it's a little bit different, but it'll be exciting. And it's great to always see those other coaches.
And it's exciting for Aggie fans to host a first-round playoff game, too.
Right. I mean, we got all that on our back, and we know that. We want to do it for our city, and we want to do it for our fans. There's, there is a pride factor I've heard, just lately. Hey, we got a chance. We haven't done that in a while. And that's always great. And those kids, we tell them, hey, you got to be a part of history. They're going to remember this team. Yeah. As good as you guys around here follow history, I love it. You can look back and find about anything you need in history, dating back to the beginning of Sylacauga, and like I told those guys, your names will be etched in that forever. And so,
it's a special team for you. It's your first year here at Sylacauga High School. Some of these guys in the playoffs, it'll be their final playoff run. So it's an exciting time as a head coach of Sylacauga High School.
It is. I'm just putting my selfishness in it. This is the first time I've been away from a while, and with new kids, new staff, new location. Yeah. First time ever to be a head coach and have to do this. So it's a learning experience for me, and it's been easy. The transition's been amazing. The people. Everything about it. The kids are great. There's no doubt about that. My son, my family. So, it's good. It's rewarding.
What is it like coaching your son? I mean, he's a player, and he goes home with you every day too.
Right. I don't touch him. I mean, hey, Coach Jacks, Coach Strickland, you guys take him. No, it's great. He's a competitor like me. So when you get a competitor, you get a little. You can say whether. Angry at things, and I love those attitudes in kids because they got a little bit of fight in them. They got a little bit. They care. He definitely does.
Do y'all do X's and O's together?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we watch football on Saturdays and Monday night football and other sports together, and really love him just like he's mine. So there's some times when he may not think I do because we're arguing, but I can count on him. Yeah, I love how he reacts to things and how he takes the leadership. So.
Finally, this morning, some keys to Sylacauga's success on the road to Ben Russell tomorrow night.
Oh, we got to maintain drive. We got to really do a good job of finding out what their plan is to stop Malik Pope, create some space again with receivers, read the defense. They do a really good job. I think they got a good defensive staff of mixing up coverages to those sort of things. So we got to be on our toes. Definitely offensive in our game plan to figure out what they're trying to do to stop our bread and butter. And defensively, we've got to stop the dynamic plays. They got some really good speed. They got a good quarterback. Maintain the run game. We kind of make them predict what they have to do. I mean, that's defensively. Stop what you think they do really good. Get them in long down situations so you can predict the dynamic play possibilities and keep your secondary ready.
You mentioned Hopeville earlier about they changed some things coming in from what you had prepared for and what you had seen. Ben Russell, you don't know what they're going to put on the field tomorrow night, really.
That's right, and it's their senior night. So those guys want to go out with a great success, as far as winning that last game. So they got a lot to play for in their pride, and they've got it in Elliott City and at Benjamin Russell. So we look forward to a good game, and just hopefully we don't make the mistakes we've made early. Get off to a good start. I mean, that's number one, and continue that pace that we've done offensively. So and defensively, just get us the ball back, 3 and outs, and let us have some fun.
And Ben Russell tomorrow night, 7:00 kick down at Alexander City, and Coach Carter will join us again next week. We're set for the playoffs, and things will be more clear by the time we talk next week here on Daybreak Live. Sylacauga will play a first-round game here. We don't know who it's going to be, but we know it's going to be next Friday night, and kick is at 7 o'clock. But first things first, let's get this win over Ben Russell, the Wildcats, tomorrow night. Coach, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And Coach Rob Carter's show brought to you by Stop and Shop Auto Sales on West 1st Street in Sylacauga. More Daybreak just around the corner. Don't go away.